All right, we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Vays. It is 7 a.m. Here in the UAE at 11 a.m. New York time. All right, we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome. So hopefully people from the U.S. are joining. It's not too late over New York and Miami. And very good time over on the West Coast. Let's go to the charts. Had a really fun day at the conference yesterday. I'll go back today, those of you that are watching me from the UAE. I'll be back at Blockchain Live around 2 p.m. So we're going to go straight into the short-term charts. In yesterday's video, I was anticipating a pullback off of the 4-hour MRI. This pullback would allow me to enter into the Consensio position with a higher percentage than 20%. Everyone on Twitter seems to be making fun of that because they don't really understand how to manage a responsible, non-leveraged retirement position, where if you actually lose money, there's nothing else you can do. So we were waiting for the moving averages to cross over. I was hoping for a little better pullback. It's really unfortunate that this candle is not accurate. It's just wrong, right? The candle begins at the very top. The pullback has taken place, but it wasn't very big, which kind of sucks. But I have to wait till the end of the day. There's still a little bit of time left. And also, this candle here has just started. As you guys know, I never ever go long on a bullish candle that follows an MRI top. I have to wait for the following candle to continue the trend. I don't like exponential rises at all. I always wait for the pullback. I'm not adding to my position today. The one thing about my trading in my old age is that I stay patient. And there's always another trade coming. Being impatient is what prevents people from is what allows people to end up in a position that they never have any more money to trade ever again. So patience is the most important part of a trader. The moving averages have literally just crossed. We just entered a situation where the short term is above the intermediate and above the long term. This is where it warrants a 100% bullish position, but we are grossly overextended on the short term. Now, this rally can be sustained, but this rally is also simply based on rumors. Everything started with the Cointelegraph headline, which was fake news. So everything kicked off on fake news. I stated the day this happened that this kind of fake news has the ability to reverse the market. I have removed the possibility of us going down back to 25,000. I just didn't anticipate us to rise this quickly off of fake news. And I just expected us to consolidate some more, maybe go up a bit. And then the news of BlackRock having a ticker, which to me is a non-news event. They're going to have a ticker. They're all going to have a ticker. It doesn't mean that the ETF is going to be approved tomorrow. I am still of the position that Gary Gensler would need to be replaced before a Bitcoin ETF will be approved. I could be wrong on that, but my position remains that under Gary Gensler's watch, there will not be a Bitcoin spot ETF. He will need to be removed. And the reason is because if there is a Bitcoin spot ETF, the following day, someone's going to ask the following question to Gary Gensler. Why is there no Solana ETF? Why is there no Hex ETF? I want to bring BitConnect, Gary Gensler. You have to let me have a BitConnect ETF because that would be hypocritical since you are allowing a Bitcoin ETF. And Gary Gensler is too smart to deal with the question why there's no Solana ETF and why there's no Ethereum ETF, because Gary Gensler knows that both Solana and Ethereum are violations of security laws and projects that should have never gotten this far. Gary Gensler understands this, but 99% of the world does not. So again, there needs to be some kind of, either Gary Gensler is going to get blackmailed, or I don't know, he's going to be offered a promotion to be the future Treasury Secretary or whatever. I personally think he either has to resign or be fired before there is a Bitcoin spot ETF. That's been my position for the last few years since Gary Gensler became the chairman of the SEC. So here's our daily candle. We are continuing the uptrend after the daily MRI top. I usually wait till this candle is near an end. This candle is only 3 hours into its lifetime, so it's a little too early for me to jump on current candle. But if I am around in the evening my time today, and we have not sufficiently pulled back to below 33,000, we basically need to take out this low. Not this low, sorry. We basically need to take out these lows. If we take out these lows today, and this is the 4-hour chart, and the 4-hour closing low is at 36,500. If we take out this low, then I would anticipate a much bigger pullback, and I would be able to enter the long-term position closer to 30,000. If we do not take out the $33,000 pullback today, based on the 4-day consensio, we will be on the second half of current candle. It would be less than 2 days to go in the of a 4-day candle. We have all the moving averages crossed over. It would warrant a 50 to 100% bullish position. I will not go 100%. I will go somewhere between 50 and 80% because I am still waiting for a pullback. Is it possible we're not going to get it? Sure. Does it really matter what trolls on Twitter say? Not really, because they don't have a following and they don't do daily channels, and they have absolutely no responsibility whatsoever to anyone, basically. And it's a very easy lifestyle. I just saw a tweet by the Financial Summit. If you go to replies, these are the people that have, 250,000 followers that are very, very active, and they tweet out things like this: if Bitcoin goes to 35,000 before it falls to 16,000 or lower this year, I will personally send $200 to everyone who retweets this. And so someone owes 7,500 times 200, right? So someone has to pay up. That looks like $150,000. So let's see if profit blew. I mean, obviously, this only counts to those that retweeted before it hit 35,000. But this is what scam accounts do to create followers. I don't know what profit blue is. I am seeing this for the first time. The Bitcoin since 2014 is potentially a lie, unless Profit Blue's Twitter actually goes back to 2014. My Twitter goes back to 2014. That's when I created my Twitter account. It was in 2014. And yeah, so it's scam accounts like this that create, followers with tweets like that. MAF is moving average forecast. I just like to shorten the names. So if I open up the source code, again, it's my personal code. Back in the day when I had time to code. And it's called moving average forecast. I just like short titles so that they don't take up a bunch of room in front of my eyes. And all it does is it creates, look, you can, I guess, slow down and look at the code. it just creates these 3 dots. I can make more dots, but it won't be very useful. It's just, oh, wrong button. It just allows me to see what the moving average will be going forward on the following few candles when you replace the current price of a candle with the price of a candle that's removing. So I can't do it on a short moving average. So if I drop the price, what is it? Man, they really need to. How do you? There used to be a button here that would allow me to. Oh, here it is. Hide. Right. So this is only a 3 candle moving average. So I can't use a 3 candle moving average to project forward. But with these two, I can remove. This is a 9-period moving average. So I can remove the candle, the 9th candle going backwards, that makes the moving average, and replace it with current price, and it allows me to project the moving average forward. So that's my moving average forecast indicator, and it has, it has 2 time frames, daily and weekly. So this way, I could have the same parameters, and if I flip the chart from daily to weekly, my moving average parameters actually change. That's all. Eventually, all of these will be released for free. I've been too busy traveling and speaking and organizing conferences. So something has to change next year. And then I can, focus on this stuff, because also this code needs to be checked and rechecked. I don't want to release something to the public that potentially has a bug in it. It's okay if it has a bug. If I'm using it, shit happens. But when you provide something to other people, it needs to be of higher quality, right? Like the food I cook for myself at home is going to be very different than the food I cook for when people show up, right? In case people are wondering, like, what my favorite meal is at home, it's a piece of raw ground beef out of the freezer, defrosted, with about 4 egg yolks, a bunch of crushed garlic, salt, cumin, and some avocado oil. I mix that in a bowl. I don't cook anything. Raw egg yolks, raw beef, and garlic, and some seasoning. That's my meal. That's my favorite meal when I'm in my own house, which I currently don't really have. It's Panama, or I kind of sold my New York stuff. So that's my favorite meal. That's not going to be the meal I cook for you, right? So when you have something for yourself, it's going to be very different than something you provide to others. Yeah, I've taken pictures of it. I've posted them back in the day. So the reason why I constantly eat raw ground beef, and I do buy it, high quality, usually grass-fed, usually from a farmer that I know. The reason for that is I think it's the most nutritious meat. Ground beef from a proper butcher and a proper, rancher. They use pieces of all the. They use the whole cow in making ground beef. Ground beef is. I eat raw pork too. Not lately, but I used to eat raw pork all the time. Same thing, raw ground pork. But once again, it has to come from a farmer and a butcher that you know personally. Same meal, just replace the beef by the pork. Never been sick once. I usually eat this, like if I'm home for a full week, I'll usually eat this at least twice. Trying to think if there was any like photos of this, but not really. I don't usually tweet out. Though I was eating raw chicken in Japan. I'm not going to eat raw chicken in the West, but in Japan you can eat raw chicken. I don't really eat chicken. I don't like chicken. It has no flavor for me. Okay, so Weekly chart. Let's see what's going on there. See what's going on in the weekly chart. The weekly chart has broken out of our consolidation zone. And I'm still anticipating a pullback. The weekly chart has a couple of more candles to go before an MRI top. I am going to take the weekly MRI top seriously, and that's happening in 2 weeks. Either way, I'm expecting a pullback. So going long on the consensus chart right now, I'm fully aware that after I go long, it can easily pull back to 30,000, which which the trolls would absolutely love. But if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be trolls. So they would be busy working. So let's see. Well, let's see how this goes. Let me bring the. Why can't I pin this? Can I pin this? I can't. I can't pin this to the chart. That sucks. I hate the fact that this candle looks like this because it really throws off my visual ability to analyze a chart. TradingView needs to get another developer and fix this. I will be at Blockchain Live again today. I spoke yesterday. I am not speaking today. And then I'll be at the after party. So the after party is going to be at a place called Sky 2. Sky 2.0 right there. I will be there as well. That starts around 9 o'clock. Phillies are out. Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. Yeah, this is, man, it would have been such an exciting World Series between the Phillies and the Astros. But now we have the Texas Rangers and the Diamondbacks, and no one can name a single player on either of those teams. So I don't know. I'm not finding this to be a very exciting World Series. How about GBTC, Tone? Yeah, how about GBTC? Let's go and take a look. So GBTC had a huge gap, obviously, because the price went up overnight in the United States. But look at the GBTC discount. The GBTC discount, which hit 10%, it hit 11% the day before, but suddenly on this big rise, it dropped to almost 14% discount. This tells me that the pullback is coming. This tells me that within GBTC, there wasn't as much enthusiasm for Bitcoin as meets the eye. Watching this GBTC discount pull back tells me that the Bitcoin price is likely to pull back. I had to sneeze. And does that make sense? Does that make sense when you see, you saw it right here as well? If I draw a line from here up straight, and now I draw another line because I can't cross the streams right here, right? So you see how the GBTC discount started to pull back. And while the price of Bitcoin rose a smidge, look at where GBTC discount started to rise once again. Bam. So you see how the GBTC discount decreasing indicated that the price itself is likely to pull back. Now, this wasn't a huge pullback, but it was still a pullback, and it gave you like a week or so, okay? It gave you like a week or so. In case you're wondering why this is a 390-minute chart, there is a reason for this madness. It assists in the GBTC code to accurately grab the discount rate because of the trading day in the American stock markets. Okay, so this drop in the price, and I'll do it here as well. So this drop in the discount rate is making me extra cautious in rushing into a Bitcoin trade right now. Yeah, this literally happened yesterday. Or maybe it happened 2 days ago. I think it's 1 day off. I'm going to move this one day to that. That's where the top came in. Okay. So it's making me cautious that the market is going to pull back. Is it going to pull back, below 20 on GBTC? Probably not. But it should pull, but the overall market should pull back. Still waiting for that pullback. I'm not trying another browser, Bernoulli. I don't have another browser. I only use Chrome because the rest kind of suck. Maybe if Brave didn't have a scammy unlicensed security, I'd be more open to it. I used to use Firefox, but it had massive data leaks, memory leaks, not data leaks, sorry. Well, the MRI is working super well here on natural gas. We may not get our MRI buy candle because it came in 1 day, or because the reversal came 1 day early. Is recession next year going to be good or bad for Bitcoin? I don't understand why people assume there's going to be a recession next year. I think the United States will be in 2 more wars next year. They're going to add Serbia, Kosovo to the list, and they're going to add China, Taiwan to the list. So that would be number 5 conflict that they've started since Biden took office. The Biden administration has already contributed to 3 international conflicts. Obama started the Syria mess, so we can't blame that on the Biden administration. But Biden's American foreign policy has pretty much started 3 military conflicts already, and they have 2 more. They have it's like a chalkboard, It's like in your startup office, you have like your agenda for the next 4 years, and they have 5 check marks. And they've already accomplished the first 3, the 3 out of the 5, and they have 2 more to go. They have Kosovo and Serbia, and they have China, Taiwan. But 2 more check marks before, and Biden has 1 more year to do it. Thank you, Queen Satoshi. Thank you so much. We're gonna have a great time in Russell Khan. Inflation plus housing forecast plus interest rates. Maybe. Stock market's still doing okay. We'll see. Oil. Is today Thursday or Wednesday? What's going on? Today is Tuesday in New York. Shit. Okay, we have to wait a couple more days before we get the next oil numbers. Like, I have no idea who the US president is going to be next year. None. I don't even know who's going to be on the ballot. MSTR. All right, let's go take a look at MSTR. Gold. Bullish on gold. Looks like a great little pullback. Once it breaks the new highs, I will be very bullish on gold. I have been to the Philippines twice. Once in 2008 or 9, something like that, and then once right before the pandemic. So when I went to the Philippines in 2009, that was the 2nd country I've ever traveled to outside America as an adult. Canada doesn't count. It's like the suburb. It's like a suburb. I mean, Canada is kind of like America that the British still got to have a say in, and the French. So like travel to Canada doesn't count. for any American, especially when you go to university upstate New York. We used to drive to Canada to buy beer because we were underage. So we'd like drive to Canada, buy a bunch of alcohol, and come back. Because you're underage to do that kind of stuff. But in Canada, if you're a college student in New York, upstate New York, drive to Canada, go to a strip club, because you can't go in America because you have to be 21 because they serve alcohol. But in Canada, you can do it. You can be 18. And buy alcohol, and then come back to America. So that doesn't count. But the first country I ever traveled to was Trinidad for Carnival in 2008, and then the second country I ever traveled to was the Philippines in 2009. Just wanted to go somewhere different. S&P 500 is reversing right on schedule. Right on schedule. Look at that. We had extension C. We have extension A, which where we're bouncing off the moving average. This is the daily chart reversing. Here's the weekly chart. The lows for October are probably in, mostly because we only have 5 days left. 5 days left. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be the low in October in the first week. So it looks like we got the low. Let's see what happens. Peking, I will say Montreal is probably the best place for that. Do you think Satoshi will reveal himself this year? No, I don't think he's ever going to reveal himself. Too much echo on the mic. Interesting. Let me see. I'm back on the roads, I think. No, I'm not. My microphone is my microphone did not register again. I'm having a microphone issue once again. The microphone that I'm wearing is not the microphone being used. I am using my camera microphone once again. I don't know why that is. I can unplug the microphone. I can plug the microphone back in. The Rode mics that weren't working, that started working and are now not working again. I don't know. This is why I don't even want to YouTube anymore, because I don't give a shit about keeping up with the tech. Guys, I'm sorry. Like when I started on YouTube, what mattered was your knowledge of the subject and not your ability to make proper videos. And today I am getting so annoyed with I don't care about microphones. I don't care about cameras. I don't care about thumbnails. I don't care about titles. So that kind of stuff, spending 80% of my life on making viral videos instead of, knowledge of the subject is not what I want to do with the rest of my life. So one of the main reasons why I'm tempted to not do any more content is because I don't want to keep up with the technology. I just don't care. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking the S&P reversal. Would have been nice for us to go a little bit lower. Would have been really nice to reverse off of the daily MRI reversal. These thumbnails used to cost me $100 each. Back in the days when I used to make money, I used to spend money. And now that I don't make any money, I don't spend the money, right? So that's why there's no new thumbnails. I used to spend $100 on a thumbnail, and I used to make about $60, $70 per video. Like back in the day when my videos used to get 25,000 views, they used to make me, I don't know, $70, $80 per video. But then each new thumbnail would cost me like $100. So I would still be losing money, but at least I really enjoyed it. And I was supporting the global economy by paying graphic designers. Today, I can't do that. My videos make about $5, $10. And I do need to learn some AI tools so I can generate my own thumbnails. But again, I don't want to be a graphic designer. I have not heard anything from Van Zandt, nor do I want to. Van Zandt turned out to be a serious scammer. Yeah, Van Zandt turned out a scammer and also not a good person. So I have no interest in running into him ever again. Let's take a look at MSTR. MSTR weekly is having a great rally. However, it's still lower than the price back in July. Now, if we go to Bitcoin weekly, you can see how Bitcoin's price is way better than it was in July. So Bitcoin was the better hold during this time. Bitcoin is at a new yearly high. Bitcoin is higher than it was. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's see when the last time Bitcoin was higher than current price. The last time Bitcoin was higher than current price was in May of 2022, so a year and a half ago. If we go to MSTR, MSTR was higher this July. And this is April 2022, right? So it was also higher back then. But look how much MSTR went up this year. Since early this year, MSTR is up 200%, reaching a high in May of 200 and let's say 50%. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It was 250 back in July, and it's 200 now. If we look back at GBTC, this year, GBTC is up 250% now, and back in July, it was only up 160. So you can see how going into July, MSTR was better, but since July and overall, GBTC was a better proxy. So we'll see if they flip. So what can I say about the stock? Well, the stock of MSTR looks great. It is stuck at a double top. You guys know what I think about double tops. Had a beautiful MRI top that called it. Got rejected by the MRI resistance line. Now, this stock is very correlated with Bitcoin, but if I didn't know what the stock was, I would say this is very, very bullish, and it's very likely to break the double top, break the MRI resistance line, and go significantly higher. All right, guys, I need to do a bunch of work. I need to follow up with a lot of people. I'm still trying to, we still have about 7-8 rooms available in Ras Al Khaimah for the financial summit. Let's get the scam off my Twitter page. Let's see what the latest news is. The financial summit handle posted about 8 hours ago. Let's have a read. Macro and the General, Bank of Japan, to purchase 300 billion yen worth of 5 to 10 year Japanese government bonds. No one wants to buy Japanese debt. The Japanese bank is buying the Japanese debt. It's going to be the same thing in the United States. No one wants to buy American shitty debt. Around the world, Americans will have to buy their own debt. which is insane. It's like you borrowing from yourself to pay for stupid shit. European real estate stocks fallen to their lowest price. Not surprising. No one wants to live in communist Europe. If you are in communist Europe, get the F out of there. Maybe go to Serbia, though they're about to be in a war. Maybe go to Hungary. I know that Europe would like to kick them out, but that's unlikely to happen. Get out of communist Europe. I have no desire to go there. People keep asking me, like, Tom, when are you going to come to Australia? Tom, when are you going to come to, you know, London, France, like all those other cities, all those other countries? And I'm like, guys, I don't want to go to communist West. I don't. I'm getting out of there. Like, I'd rather go to Argentina. Would love to see Milei win. I don't think he will, but it'd be great if he does. Like, it sucks that Brazil and Colombia are electing Marxists, but at least the people, though, aren't as communist as the European mentality. As regulatory pressure climbs, Binance's UK chief departs. Not surprising, they're getting out of the UK. China to give 137 billion sovereign debt to support its economy. Everyone is buying up their own debt. Guys, there's going to be such a debt crisis. It's insane. Make sure you have Bitcoin. There's a difference between a HODL Bitcoin position and a tradable Bitcoin position. Those are two very different things. Bitcoin is the only unconfiscatable asset. You should have as much of it as you can. US market news. The total debt of the United States has just surpassed the 33 trillion mark. I thought it surpassed it a while ago. Let's see. National debt clock. It does go back and forth. Maybe some, oh yeah, it's about to pass 34 trillion. Guys, I can't wait for, you guys do know that the Wizard of Oz was about the gold standard, right? Did you guys know that? Wizard of Oz, it was written in the 1930s. The yellow brick road, it was to march on Washington to bring back the gold standard. That's what the yellow brick road was. There was a, well, like, look into the history of the book. What do you call it? Man. Yeah, Wizard of Oz. Oh my God. We got spacing out here. Wizard of Oz was all about bringing back the gold standard and how society, like, basically was a mess. Yes, Tone is still expecting a pullback. But I may have no choice and start entering into my bullish positions here. But I am expecting a pullback. Did you realize the Scarecrow had a gun in one scene? I actually don't remember the movie, and I don't remember the book. I just don't remember. I never really read them. I just know the history. I remember, guys, I'm an immigrant who never really learned to read properly. Like, I'm language dyslexic. Like, I can speak and shit, but I can't read or write. Like, I am a dyslexic reader and writer, and I can't even blame it on being an immigrant to America, on my inability to properly read and write English. Because back when I was in Soviet Union and I was taking, the English versions of language reading and writing, like back then it was called Russian, and here it's called English. So I was failing my Russian classes back in Russia the way I was failing my English classes in America, right? So I can't even blame my reading and writing inability on being an immigrant and learning a new language, because I was a bit retarded in that area back when I was a kid. in my home language. It's a classic movie. I didn't even know if it was a book or not. I just know the history of Wizard of Oz because, again, I listen. I'm good at reading comprehension, but it takes me like an hour to read an essay. I'm very good at reading comprehension when I pay attention, but I don't have the attention span to pay attention. So I have to listen to everything, or I have to watch it in movie form. Like, I don't even read like blogs anymore. Like, I use an e-reader. Like, even when someone sends me a PDF, like, even if I have a PDF like this, I mean, I can upload this. Are there going to be any words here or not? Like, I open the one PDF that has no words. That's great, Tone. Here we go, some words, right? So I can upload the PDF in the e-reader, or if it's something like this, I can just open the e-reader, which doesn't want to open because I'm on live air. Of course, nothing wants to open. I don't know what's going on. It should open, but it's not opening. Weird. Really weird. Maybe refresh? I don't know. My e-reader doesn't want to open. Maybe this PDF? Very strange. Maybe will work on a website? Yeah, it works on a website. Chrome requires users to click on the page. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, but this is not a good page to read shit on. Here we go. Best Japanese whiskey. Perfect. Right. So I would just use an e-reader. I would just go like this.
Ever since Suntory's 2013 Yamazaki Sherry Cask won World Whiskey of the Year in the 2015 edition of Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible, it thrust Japanese whiskey makers. It's been around for decades.
Okay. So, yeah, but you can upload your PDFs into it, and then it'll read it for you. You can also like take a screenshot. I've used that before. Like sometimes it can't read it, so you can take a screenshot of like words on a picture. You can take a screenshot, and then it analyzes the picture, and then it reads off the picture.
Those days are long gone, unfortunately, as Japan's distillers wait for stuff.
Because it can't read text that's in pictures, but if you take a picture of a picture, you can read the text. So that's how I do it. I guess it was a movie. I didn't know if it was a book or a movie. Usually movies come from books, so I just assumed that it was a book, but it was also a little before my time. They still can't make a good 1984 movie. I wish they would. Man, I would love to advise on a modern day version of 1984. Like Winston would be a Wikipedia admin who would like sit there in front of a screen on Wikipedia, changing history. So if anyone watching me is a movie director and you want to turn 1984 into a modern day movie, you go to Wikipedia and you go to say, and someone is like looking at Wikipedia and they would go to World War II, right? Oh, like in World War II, it would actually say that the Canadians were fighting against the Russians, okay? Like something like that. Like it would put Russia over here. Like that's what Winston would do. Like in the movie, it would be, this doesn't sound right. I think Joseph Stalin was with Hitler fighting against the Americans, and now we're finishing the war, right? So that would be Winston's job if the modern day version, he would do it on Wikipedia and like scrape the internet, right? And then he would like go over and get hired by Twitter or something. So I would love to see a good modern day version of 1984. Was Wizard of Oz about the 1986 presidential election? I thought it was about the gold. I thought it had something to do with the gold standard. I mean, it could have had something to do with the gold standard back in 1896. I got to reread it. It was a while ago. It was a really long time ago when I looked into the history of why that movie was, or that story was created. Yeah, we've always been at war with Russia. Exactly. That's exactly it. I'm going to refresh my knowledge of the Wizard of Oz. Clearly, yeah, it was a 1939 film. Right. It's a 1939 film. I can swear it was about the gold standard, like the 1933. I mean, I saw it when I was a little kid, but I barely remember it. I need to rewatch it. I'm going to get some good resources about the history of the movie. We can look at TLT. Oh, everything fell apart for TLT with this red star candle on the MRI, breaking the prior double bottom. So easy to say that it's going to keep going down, but now it's on a weekly MRI top. MRI buy. Weekly MRI buy coming in. BlackRock is going to use you for exit liquidity. Trust me. I wasn't waiting for sub 20. You guys know my stance. I was not waiting for sub 20. I just didn't expect the move to be, this violent to the upside out of that position. So we have an MRI warning candle this week. We likely to have an MRI buy next week. TLT can certainly rally a smidge. And then it's not looking good for TLT. Guys, nobody wants American shitty bonds. America is going to default. But the stock market should go up. That is true. It is people speculating, but some speculations make more sense than others. Okay, what was the other one? Somebody asked. BLK. BlackRock. Oh, BlackRock. See, BlackRock ain't doing too well, right? Guys, BlackRock is going to implode. BlackRock is becoming too big. Weekly BlackRock chart is down 37% off the highs. That is a lot more than the S&P. S&P is only down 9. It's not looking good for BlackRock. The Bitcoin ETF will not save them. Pretty sure we would just print money to avoid defaulting on the bonds. Yeah, but printing money is a bond default as well, eventually. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna do some work. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. Don't forget, Unconfiscatable. Coming to Las Vegas, December 7 and 8. And the Financial Summit is only 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away, the Financial Summit. In Russell Kaima, Bitcoin price is rising. You want to come, Got about 8 villas. Join us. We got about 8 villas to go. Would be awesome to hang out. Bye, guys. Oh, did I even finish reading this? NVIDIA, Israel-based employees receive a bonus payment. Really? Why are they still in Israel? Get the hell out of there. Guys, I'm really not sure there's going to be an Israel by the end of this decade. The way they're heading. They're losing the PR battle. Israel is losing the PR battle. Even Google can't save them. Israel versus Palestine. Let's see. Let's see which side Google's on. Gaza attack. Israel prepared for Gaza invasion. Gaza hospital live update. Let's see. Go to news headlines. Released hostages arrive in Tel Aviv. CNN is total propaganda. So one of the hostages was doing an interview, and they only presented half the interview. Half the interview that it was a very balanced. The person, had good things to say and bad things to say about what happened, and they only printed the bad stuff. But that's not surprising. CNN is a propaganda website. Al Jazeera is biased in the opposite direction. Al Jazeera is way biased towards Hamas and Palestine. CNN is way biased towards Israel. So you gotta find a balance, right? If you want the truth, you gotta find a balanced source. Everything is Al Jazeera, right? Like even Google can't save Israel right now. Look, I go to news, and everything is Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera ranks #1. Then you have CNBC, CNN, and Reuters. Reuters is going to be also biased, but not as biased as CNN. CNBC is going to be a little biased towards Israel, not as biased as CNN. But then the next 8 sites are all Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera is going to be biased towards. You see right here, Israeli captive endured hell and attack, but treated well in Gaza. Right, this was the released hostage. Right, and CNN says, if you look at the CNN story, they only talk about the hell part. They totally skipped, but treated well, right? So you see that in Al Jazeera, but you don't see that in the CNN headline. Right, so Israel is learning what it's like to be Russia in the PR battle, right? So Russia had no chance at PR. Like when the Russia-Ukraine thing for the last 2 years, Russia was not able to create any global movement in the PR department. Everything was pro-Ukraine, anti-Russia. And Israel is learning the hard way that they don't control the media, they don't control the social media. And Israel is losing the global PR battle, huge. And they're not factoring that in with their attempt to go into Gaza. I think it'll be a disaster. I think if Israel goes into Gaza with men, most of those men are actually going to die, and they're not even going to get a PR sympathy out of it. I think their military is just going to get slaughtered in Gaza, and they won't even get a sympathy vote in the media for it. So I think it's a bad idea. And the more people they lose in Gaza, the more likely Hezbollah is gonna give them hell in the north. Bernoulli, if you're in my off-topic group chat, I mean, I don't think Russia was funding Hamas, and but I think there was a wink and a nod from Putin that said go for it. Like, it's up to you guys. I think Putin could have stopped it. Like, my view is Russia is like the mob boss that gives you protection. And when you piss off the mob boss for protection, you could be in trouble, right? Not from the mob boss, right? So that's the difference. So Russia was providing, let's go to a Google map. Russia was providing protection to many, many countries. Russia was providing protection to Armenia until Armenia told again, think of a mob boss that gives you protection. Hey, if we're on the same page, no one will fuck with your business. And in the case of countries, your business is the border of your country. As long as we're on the same page here, and it doesn't mean that they have to bribe Russia. They just have to be in economic cooperation and political cooperation. Armenia used to be in political cooperation and financial cooperation with Russia. And Armenia decided to tell Russia to fuck off. We're going to have our new friends in America. And that's where Putin says, well, if you're going to have new friends in America, then America will need to provide you protection. And there was a wink and a nod to Azerbaijan. Hey, we're no longer protecting Armenia. Have fun. And that's how Armenia ended up losing Nagorno-Karabakh. Okay, and probably they're going to lose more land. Okay, now, similar thing happened in Ukraine, but because Ukraine actually borders Russia, they took it upon themselves to come and alter the border of Ukraine. But if your country doesn't border Russia, then it's just protection. And I think when Israel decided to send weapons and other military assistance to Ukraine, Israel lost Putin's protection. And here we are. So I'm not going to agree and say that Russia had funding for Hamas. I don't believe so. I don't think Russia told Hamas to do anything. I don't believe that. But the day Israel decided to send weapons and other assistance, probably Mossad and intelligence assistance to Ukraine, is the day Israel lost the protection of Russia. And here we are. I think if Israel stayed fully neutral and or perhaps was slightly leaning towards Russia's concerns over Ukraine, this would not have happened in Israel. I think Putin would have put pressure on Iran and put pressure on Lebanon and Saudi, because remember, Iran, Saudi, and the UAE are all in the BRICS now. So Putin has a lot of say, and so does Xi in China, of what happens here. But when the Israeli government decides to piss off Putin, you lose Russian protection, and you're kind of surrounded by people that don't like you, and that's a problem. So Russia is actually losing countries that they're like these kinds of countries, right? Like US is still meddling. Like Serbia has Russian protection. So if America does start the war between Serbia and Kosovo, which they're trying, Serbia could ask Russia to intervene. Now, it's very difficult for Russia to intervene because there's no land bridge there. But Hungary is very friendly with Russia. So we'll see how that works. It'll be a little bit hard for Russia to bring troops into Serbia to help, but Serbia can have Russian protection because Serbia is friendly with Russia. Now, if Serbian government's replaced by American puppets and Serbia loses Russian protection, then Kosovo will have NATO protection, and Kosovo is going to expand, and Serbia could be in a bit of trouble. But as long as the Serbian government, cooperates with Russia, they still have Russian protection. And Turkey is on the border there, right? Like the more Turkey aligns with Russia, the more Turkey has Russian protection with Russian military. Yeah, Bernoulli, you should join the off-topic chat. I'll send you a link. I posted like the day, like I think the day after the Israel thing, I posted like a 6-bullet point list of how the Hamas invasion of Israel benefits Russia and Putin. I wrote like a big post on how it benefits. Like, I'm not saying that Putin caused it. I'm not saying that Putin wanted it to happen. I'm not saying he had a hand in it. I'm just saying because it happened, it benefits Russia greatly. Maybe I'll find that post. I don't know. It was a while ago. I don't know how to look for it. Finland is in trouble now. Again, if Finland stayed neutral, it had Russian protection. But Finland decided not to be neutral anymore, and they border Russia. So if they actually start putting NATO missiles here, there may be no Finland. So again, stupidity by Finland, but they don't get it. In case anyone's wondering which side Finland was on during World War II, they were on the side of Nazis, just to be clear. Russia eventually gave them back their country. How important is control of the Suez Canal? Very important. Even more so now that Israel is in the middle of a hot war. Very important. This is why it's the only, not the only, but the main reason why Egypt is in BRICS is because of the Suez Canal. Very important. Huge. Oh man, I'm trying to find that Putin post that I did. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to find it. Yeah, it's gonna be super hard for me to find it. Like I said, I have 6 reasons as to how this benefits Russia, the conflict in Israel. Yeah, Turkey and Greece are always at odds. Cyprus is like the battleground. Like you see borders, right? Look, anytime on a Google map you see dashed borders, these are disputed borders. Like when you see a dashed border on a Google map, that's a disputed border. If you go to Kosovo, like it's debatable, is Kosovo a country or not, right? You see this dashed line, that's a disputed border. Oh, another country with Russian protection, Georgia. Georgia had full Russian protection. Georgia decided to do something stupid, like join NATO in 2008. And because it's a bordering Russia, they lost 2 regions. Again, disputed border. These 2 areas right here in Georgia, and Russia has taken over these areas because Georgia decided to not to cooperate with Russia anymore and join the West. And now they lost these areas, the way Ukraine lost a bunch of areas. And now Georgia is on a lot better terms with Russia. So Georgia currently has Russian protection. So there is no way, say, Azerbaijan is going to go and take this little piece of land because Georgia is under full Russian protection. But Armenia lost Russian protection, and therefore Armenia just lost a bunch of land to Azerbaijan, right? Like, people think borders are like Bitcoin transactions. They don't move. Borders move every day. There is a border in the world that changes every day. The best thing to do to prevent your border from changing and a piece of your land becoming somebody else's land is friendly terms with your neighbors or friendly terms with the guerrilla around your neighbor to provide you protection from other countries coming in. Okay, now Serbia is losing a piece of their country to Kosovo. Kosovo is fully backed by NATO trying to destroy Serbia. And once NATO collapses, which it will, Serbia will now be, will have the stronger backer being Russia. Russia doesn't recognize Kosovo as a country. America recognizes Kosovo as a country. So this will need to be resolved. I think this is going to be the next military conflict where people get killed. And after that, you have the China-Taiwan issue. The US is really pushing for this. The United States hates Serbia. Way more than they hate Hungary, but they really don't like Serbia. So, yeah, and Greece and Turkey, they're not on very friendly terms. And Turkey is getting really pissed off on America and Israel. So Israel doesn't want Turkey as an enemy. It really doesn't. But they're doing their best to create Turkey as their enemy. And Turkey is in NATO, which is also crazy interesting. All right, I think we had enough geopolitics. Oh, I'm still looking for that post. Damn it. I don't know if I'll find it. Go all the way back to, oh, it's early October, right? So I do have to scroll a bit. Hold on. This would have been like, I would have posted it like around October 9, maybe, in my chat group. I didn't make it public. All right, let me see. I like a 6 bullet point plan. Not plan, but I just want to see the highlights. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It was a bit of a long post. Man, I'm looking at a different group, but I think I want to send it to my friends as well. No. Off-topic group chat. Yeah, but it's hard to scroll all the way to like October. There's a lot of posts. I wake up in the morning, there's like 500 posts. Not 500. No, it's not that bad, actually. It's like maybe 10, 20 posts a day. In there. Oh, this is still April. All right, this is not working. Hold on. Like I want to review what I wrote right after the military conflict. Yeah, it's got to be around here somewhere. I'm on that week of. It's a lot of posts those days though. Like I think it was October 7th. I think October 7th was D-Day over there. By the way, you know, I was at dinner the other day and someone said something like profound. They're like, what happened in Israel on October 7th was 1500 style medieval raid. That's literally what it was. When you watch the show Vikings, that's literally what just happened in Israel. It's like a old-fashioned 1400s, 1500 medieval barbarian raid. That's literally what happened. And Israel not being able to protect their citizens from it is concerning, to say the least. Man, still looking for that post. Oh, here it is. Found it. Found it. Right. So I'm going to start reading the post. I should have the e-reader do it, but I'll read it. So this is what I wrote. This was literally the day of the attack. This was on, literally right after. I think it was early morning, October 8th, when I, looked up what the hell happened. I wrote, who remembers about a month or two ago, Israel finally dropping their neutrality on Ukraine and sending some weapons? I have stated many times on the channel that Israel must remain neutral or they are fucked. I wrote this literally right after the attack, within 24 hours. I have a feeling that the weapons transferred really pissed off Putin, and he gave, and basically Israel lost their protection. And here were my points as to how this benefits Russia. It drives the West's attention and aid from Ukraine. It's a lesson to Israel who the big gorilla is in that region, and it's not the United States. It is pretty much Russia now. It would also show that, unlike in Ukraine, look, Ukrainians are putting up an incredible fight, but they're in trouble. Now, Gaza, they're even less trained and equipped than the Ukrainians. And I think they will put up one hell of a fight against the Israeli army, even with the assistance of the American army. And it would show that you can put up a huge fight against a much stronger force with flip-flops. And Gaza is going to prove that more so than the Ukrainians are able to prove against Russia. It puts Putin in line for peace talks. So Putin can come in and be the savior, because Joe Biden can't come in and be the savior. No American can come in and be the savior, but Putin can come in. Putin can get all of these leaders on the phone. So if Putin brokers a peace deal, it makes Putin look good, and it makes Biden looks more like a clown show. So again, all that benefits Russia. It creates alliances and peace between the Sunni and the Shia, connecting the Islamic world even more. Again, that benefits Russia. If the entire Muslim world is on the same page and they're not fighting each other, that actually benefits Russia. And it turns, again, America's ability to be a peacemaker into a clown show. And it exposes America for hypocrisy. So all of these things greatly benefit Russia. Now, I'm not saying Putin had anything to do with it, but I think this incident significantly benefits Russia, and America, in order to not to benefit Russia, needed to avoid a problem here at all costs. But instead, they're leading it on. So good luck with that. Someone is asking about Bitfarms. All right, Bitfarms. Israel needs to immediately negotiate and not go in shooting. I disagree with the Israeli plan to go into Gaza shooting. They've already, killed more of theirs than were killed in Israel. Like you got your revenge. They need to start negotiating peace and the two-state solution. They have to, or they're in trouble. They can do whatever they like, but how is Russia such a big force, but still mirrored in Ukraine? Yeah, there's multiple reasons for that. And in truth to the allegations, their weapons are not nearly as state-of-the-art as they are made out to be. No, see, people have to understand, right? When America attacks Iraq, they want to kill everyone. Like, they don't care about human life, right? Because the human life is an Arab state. When Russia goes into Ukraine, they actually care about the people. Maybe not the people in the west of Ukraine, but they care about the people in the east of Ukraine. So Russia has to be very, very careful. Russia doesn't actually want to kill everybody there. They're trying to resolve this as best they can. It's just hard to do. So you are projecting the American statement that Russian inability to turn Ukraine into Libya is somehow making Russia look weak. And there may be some truth to that, but in reality, Russia, I believe, is restraining themselves a lot from turning Ukraine into Libya like America did. Bitfarms is still looking a little weak. Nice candle here with the Bitcoin pump, but they're still looking a bit weak. Did you ever hear about US and Afghanistan? Yeah, they got their ass kicked, basically, and had to leave. I mean, what else is there about Afghanistan? Why did BlackRock invest in every mining company except Bitfarms? I don't know. I don't know if that statement is a fact. I'm going to assume you are right. And the answer is, I don't know. BlackRock may not be as smart as you think they are. They just have advantages that you don't have. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. We're going to end it here. And I will see you all on the next one. Hopefully, all these wars will end. I don't want to see them happening. There's one common denominator that's the problem in all these wars, and that's the United States. That's the common denominator. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.